Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 5, the Backlash Post-Show. Sit back and enjoy the episode.
What
Ryan, you came down.
up?
You
I
came
came
down and
down, we
watched it.
watched it together. It was awesome.
It was lit. Always lit.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. We had a great time. This was a really awesome show, dude. The crowd, it's like the best
The
wrestling
crowd.
crowd I've ever gotten to see on a show. It was
Agreed.
insane.
They were making the cameras bounce. It was insane.
Bro, they're making the cameras bounce, they're making the ring bounce. I'm sure
It was nuts.
walls in there, the barricades, everything was shaking in there. They were going nuts the
Oh,
entire
had to.
night.
They had to.
Yeah,
But I
no, that
mean,
was
we
an
opened the show with
all-time
a
show
hell
right
of a
there.
match. Oh yeah, we opened the show with a hell of a match, Ryan.
Oh, hell yeah, we did. We opened it with the tag team match of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton's versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. And bro, we called it. We low key called it in the show when we said that we were hoping this would get turned into a street fight last minute because that's exactly what ended up happening.
Exactly. I was actually really excited, but then we kind of knew that was going to be a new member of the bloodline. But it wasn't who everyone wanted it to be. It wasn't Jacob. It was Tongaloa, the Japan star. He was actually Camacho back in the day, whenever Camacho was around, which I found
He
out
is,
today. I
yeah.
thought that was pretty interesting. Um,
Yeah, this
his
is
debut was
freaking
pretty. It was botched.
exciting.
Did you see the videos? There was his debut was botched. He couldn't get out of the under the ring fast enough, and the ref had to basically oh shit, I just got pulled, and then he actually pulls him. That's why it looks so biff on his screen too.
I know, I didn't notice that, but nah, it was still a pretty cool moment, even though it was a little bit biffed.
Oh yeah, it
So,
was interesting. We everyone was confused.
oh yeah, I was confused. It was still pretty. It was really. I was more confused over the fact that it wasn't Jacob Fatu.
Well, there was like I seen tweets and shit come out that it was shortly after the show. It was because they didn't want Jacob to overshadow Solo being lead, the basically the interim tribal chief.
Which makes sense because right now, I mean, if you've ever seen Jacob Fatu, he's like a ready-made star right now. And
Oh yeah,
Solo,
he's
it's
ready to
fair to
go,
say
dude.
he's still pretty green and trying to put the final pieces together. He's getting there for sure.
Oh
But
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
super excited to see them bring in Tongaloa and put in with Tama to form the Gorillas of Destiny in WWE. I don't know if that's what they're going to be called again, but that'd be pretty dope.
I didn't know that was their name. That's actually
Yeah, in New Japan, that's what the him and Tama Tonga's tag team name was. They're both
it's kind of
members of
lit.
Bullet Club.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Have that history with Cody as well.
Oh yeah, they got that history with Cody. So if, when he eventually does cross paths with the Bloodline again, they can call back to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. But
Oh yeah.
we saw also backstage Jay and Paul Heyman cross paths, and I'm kind of curious to see if that's a subliminal you're next. Just be aware.
Right, or or maybe just to maybe like you said, it's to tell him maybe you're next, or just maybe tell him stay out of the way, don't get involved because I don't want to see you get wrapped up in this too.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to take on the role of trying to protect everyone that was originally in the bloodline from this new bloodline.
Right.
Hmm.
Well,
I
I
think it's
like
a pretty
that.
cool idea because it's definitely it's undeniable at this point. I think we're definitely hyping up Roman and the Usos versus Solo. Um, Roman and Usos versus Solo and Tama and Tonga.
I like that.
Oh
I
yeah, it
like
could
that.
be some kind of war game situation, at throw in the final boss himself, and throw in somebody else for Roman's team too. It'd be
Oh
pretty
yeah.
dope, I could see, or carry it all the way to WrestleMania.
Oh yeah. Speaking of WrestleMania, we had a new champion. Like we said last episode, Bailey. She defended her title against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton, triple threat match. Bailey won, which is I think I was given because I don't think they'd push
Let's
Tiffany
go,
that high just yet.
Bailey!
And with Naomi taking the pin I think it could set something up between her and Bailey down the road.
Oh yeah, for sure. This was a
But I mean,
really fun match. Like this was a really cool match. I liked it a lot.
oh yeah, it was a banger. But I mean, like I said, with Tiffany, Tiffany already looks like main event talent. She's actually very pretty. She's actually very good at what she does.
Yeah, Tiffany
Being
stood out like
like
an absolute
just
star.
right out of NXT, it was great.
Straight up. Like this was
I mean,
absolutely nuts. Seeing Tiffany like shine throughout this entire match. Like she went for the double moonsault, of course, got caught in the 3D. That was a pretty cool spot. Like there was a lot of
mhm.
really fun spots in this match. But
Oh, agreed.
yeah, like we said, Bailey ultimately got the win, which I think we both predicted, right? And
I
yeah,
believe so.
Naomi
Yeah.
did take the pin, which worries me a lot about Naomi because I really don't want to see her falling down the card and taking
Yeah.
a bunch of pins and taking a lot of losses because she just came back during the Royal Rumble, and this is what drove her away from the company last time.
Oh yeah, and this is not what she needs. Honestly, she needs to be pushed at some point and be champion again. I just don't know when that would be.
Yeah, it's just an awkward time right now because the women's division is so stacked right now.
Yeah, they need to put like a mid card title in there, so there's something.
I think that would be a really cool idea to have
I
a
know I
women's mid
seen
card title.
rumors about like a women's IC title, which I wouldn't be upset about.
No, I wouldn't be upset about
But I
that at
mean,
all.
the issue with having those is that you'd have to bring back maybe one or two PLEs, and honestly, you should bring back the women's Evolution PLE. Just have just the women's only. Go with that.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really cool concept to have an all women's PLE because that's not really well other than Stardom. Stardom is mostly a pretty much an all women's promotion. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
But to have WWE start to showcase their women division more like
Oh
that.
yeah. And it was something that was also really dope. Jey Uso's entrance, dude, that was phenomenal,
Bro, that was
dude.
absolutely nuts. Jey Uso came out, and this was like the entire crowd, like the entire night for everybody's entrance. Like, we forgot to mention it during the first match. They sang Randy Orton's theme song on his way
Oh,
down to the
dude,
ring.
it was so freaking awesome,
It
dude.
was freaking nuts. They went insane for Kevin Owens on his way down to the ring. Bailey and Naomi both got like huge standing ovations on their way down to the ring, and like you could see on every wrestler's face, like they were taken aback by like the crowd reaction they were all getting.
It was a very big crowd reaction, which was awesome, to be
It was
honest.
nuts. And the biggest one of all was Jay freaking Uso coming out and every person in there turning on their flashlight and doing the hand thing with Uso. It was
Doing the arm
insane.
swing, it was nuts. He posted on Instagram. Um, it was like he's with us or something like that about Bray Wyatt, which I thought was pretty dope as well. I thought that was kind of like a good way to commemorate him and
Yeah, that
everything
is
that
a
he's
really cool idea.
done. Let me see. I'm looking it up right now, actually.
Look up the tweet you said.
Or yeah, because it was on Instagram that he posted it.
Yeah, this was absolutely crazy. It was
Oh,
literally
it
like the
was
walls and the ceiling were all moving and shit.
nuts, dude. I've never seen anything like it at all.
Nah, not at a wrestling show. I've never seen anything like that. It
Never,
was like one
dude.
huge party.
Yeah. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, it was something along the lines of like it was like kind of trying to commemorate Bray Wyatt. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's always awesome when they try to do that. But this does lead us to the Jey Uso versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Damian Priest won, unfortunately. But I'm not gonna lie. I really like halfway through the match, I really bought Jey Uso winning this freaking thing, man.
It was dope, dude. I
I
loved the
thought it was
match,
gonna
honestly. It was a
happen.
phenomenal match. It was a great match, dude.
That was a great match. It had great story in it too, with
Oh yes.
Judgment Day coming out, like JD and Balor and Damian Priest being pissed off at both of them, and then they both almost costed Damian the match when Uso was able to hit the spear, the kick, and the splash. But dude, when JD got freaking Damian's foot on that rope, that was like the closest freaking near fall I've been on.
That
God
was
damn it!
crazy.
I thought the title was changing right there. It was insane.
That was I I bought it too. I mean, I wanted Jay to win. Obviously, he didn't win. But with that, it was just like that match was so like it was. I was good. I like the storytelling a lot more between the Judgment Day, really, because
Yeah.
um we saw Damien grab Finn's face, push JD McDonough, and basically it was just like a shit show, really. Like in the end, that's all it was. And
Yeah,
but
like
we
after the match.
yeah, it was after the match. Yeah, when they
Yeah.
started attacking Jay. I mean, but
Yeah.
do we see something like potentially them breaking them up, or what do
I think
we?
that's exactly where we're going to be leading towards. Judgment Day eventually, like either Damian Priest, I mean, either turning on Judgment Day and just being like, y'all keep like getting in my way, I'm out of this group, or Judgment Day being like, you think you're like too good for us now, or you think you're like this hot shot leader now that Rhea's gone, but like you need to learn your place or something. They end up kicking him out. But
Yeah,
I definitely think this is going to eventually lead to a Damian Priest versus a Finn Balor feud.
yeah. I found the thing for Jay's entrance. It was the Fireflies came back dot dot dot, and then it was dot dot dot. He's here. It was
Oh
just like it
yeah,
was like very spirit was there, and it was just awesome, dude.
that's awesome, dude. There was a
Um,
potentially a another thing connecting this match to Bray Wyatt actually during the hype up promo video. There was a glitchy kind of screen along the edges of it. We both noticed it,
yeah.
and I'm
Hmm.
wondering if
A
that's
lot of other people
somehow
noticed it too,
connected to Uncle Howdy.
because I mean, like we saw the QR code right before the match,
Yeah,
and it kind of just like we've been seeing the QR code be kind of like glitchy and shit. So I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if they did that, kind of just hinting at it, like, "Hey, we're getting ready to do it," or "Hey, he's here." It was one of the two. But I
hmm
mean, we'll get more to that when we get to the Uncle Howdy stuff after the main event.
right.
But the match before the main event was Jade motherfucking Cargill
Damn
and
straight.
Bianca Belair versus the Kabuki Warriors, and for the women's tag team titles. And I think again, this was more of a match to protect Jade because she still is somewhat green. Not very. It's not as much as it used to be, but like it's still there. Like it's kind of
Oh yeah,
noticeable.
100%.
But I mean, that move she did off the top rope and she crossbodied them. That was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was insane. There was some moments in this match where it got a little bit of confusion. I think that's more to do with Kyrie and Asuka potentially not being fluent in English and Jade being a newer wrestler. Where
Yeah,
Kyrie didn't know if she was legal or if Asuka was legal, and she tried to pin Jade when she wasn't legal, and then there was a big confusion because
that was a
then
it
Asuka
was
tagged in Kyrie even though Asuka was legal.
it was so weird, dude.
Yeah, it was a little bit of confusion, but it didn't take too much away from the match. It was overall like really, really good, and it did the job that it was supposed to, which was showcase Jade in a really strong light, and got the title on Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, which I think we both predicted.
Yeah. Um, I was actually really excited that they won because now this kind of pushes Jake Cargill to be the main eventer. I mean, you and I talked about. I don't know if we talked about this down in my dorm. I think we talked about it actually. Of they end up losing it and they're losing the tag titles again, or not again, but they end up losing them, and now they go head to head because they can't win them back.
Mm.
And that kind of sets up for like a WrestleMania match.
Potentially, I mean, we've seen the King and Queen of the Ring brackets so far that have been released. Jade and Bianca are both in the Queen of the Ring tournament on the SmackDown side. They could potentially face each other in the tournament. Like that's a full
Yeah,
thing that
it's
they could
true.
do as tag champs.
I'm excited to see how this tournament goes. But I don't really else have much else for this match. It was a good match, other than the confusion part. I think it was
This
again a match to
was
protect Jade and give her a protected win, more or less, than have her lose. I think part of this reason was Asuka had an injury scare back in like March, and she didn't know if she was going to be able to wrestle at WrestleMania.
yeah, she
And I think after this, she might take some time off
yeah
and
she
heal. I don't think she's going to stay, but it's going to be really weird not seeing her with them because now you'll probably have Dakota Kai, Kyrie, and Io and you could probably see like a interim, like Kabuki Warriors maybe with Kyrie and Io, like Io taking Asuka's spot.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because Asuka's like, I'm pretty sure working hurt right now, so it's not going to surprise me if she does
Yeah.
take time off to go and heal that stuff. But that does move us into the main event match, bro. This was a fucking awesome match.
This was a
Cody Rhodes
fucking banger.
versus AJ Styles, WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. This was insane. Dude,
That
that
was
is, I don't
awesome.
know what that was. I have
That chant was
absolutely
for
no
AJ
clue.
Styles. It was basically saying that AJ. It was like he is phenomenal. That's basically what it was. That was the chant. I figured it out. I think
That's
it's.
insane, dude. Because
But
this
I mean, I
match was
found that
so
like on like
cool.
Twitter or something. But I
It,
mean, I
it
think. Go ahead.
it was awarded 5 stars from Dave Meltzer, which it's one man's opinion. Say whatever you want to say about it, but it's like it was given a really high rating, and I think everyone can agree that this was just a phenomenal match.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, it was just like the history they have with being in the Bullet Club. They're both Georgia boys. I mean, obviously, that was brought up. Yeah, we're Georgia boys. Nobody cares that you're Georgia boys. It's more of the fact that
The
they have
callback with the
phenomenal
gear,
fucking chemistry, dude.
yeah.
And
AJ
Cody
wearing
Rhodes
similar
referencing
gear to what he wore when he beat Dusty for the NWA World Title.
21 years later, he wears
Yes,
like you said, similar attire, but Cody played his mind games and did the Stardust reference just like AJ did to him on that Friday SmackDown.
oh yes, this is
That
nice. I
was
mean, we both I
fantastic.
think everyone knew Cody Rhodes was walking out with the win here, but that
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
take away from the fact that this was still a great match between these two.
Oh sure. And when we were watching the press conference, he kept saying like him, like I want to fight him. And I was thinking like that would this does this hint at The Rock? Like is he talking about The Rock?
Hmm. I hope
I
he's
mean,
talking about The Rock.
we could potentially see a match at WrestleMania, or we could potentially see. I see something maybe sooner. Like I was probably hoping like a SummerSlam match, to be honest, but I don't know where we could see this just yet.
Really, that'd be insane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding out right now. I'm thinking Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, WrestleMania 41.
It's gonna be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's gonna be for a title. I don't know what. I don't know how Roman's gonna play into it. I don't know a lot of things, but Rock versus Cody feels like the biggest match they could do at Mania 41 right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would love to see Cody walk into Mania with a title. To have a year-long reign. Because I mean, he's been fighting for this title for 2 years. Why, take it off him for after a few months? Give it to him for a while. Maybe have, um, like you and I talked about, maybe like a LA Knight winning the um, Money in the Bank. I mean, we've been talking about a lot about the Money in the Bank, and I seen a video that it was what culture's Money in the Bank predictions recorded before Backlash. Number 1 is Dakota Kai. 2 is Braun Breaker. 3 is an optimistic choice, but Rhea Ripley make it to similar to Brock Lesnar's win that when he had Mustafa Ali all shocked and everything that he came back. 4, Jay Uso. 5, Jay Cargill, sort of a tease that you can kind of push for Mania 41 if Bianca wins the big one. And it's kind of similar to I heard something about Braun Breaker. I forgot what they said about Braun Breaker. But there was a LA Knight, which could have been hinted at 2023 Money in the Bank because he was right there at the briefcase before he got stopped by Damian. 7 is Nia Jax, which I think is an interesting choice to say the least. Number 8 is Gunther, which I kind of enjoy. Number 9, it's Tiffy time
It's Tiffy
with that pink
time.
diamond encrusted briefcase.
Please, please.
And this one is a stipulation in a sense. CM Punk, but Drew McIntyre needs to have the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist.
Please. Oh my gosh.
I mean, which one out of
Maybe
that list, out of those 5 each from those genders, which would you pick?
LA Knight and Tiffany Stratton.
I'm holding between LA Knight and CM Punk now, and I'm not gonna lie, Tiffy Time and Nia Jax. I think
Nia Jax would be
Nia's going on a
actually a
tear.
really cool
Nia
choice.
Jax would be insane.
Yeah,
And she plays the
I would
character
not
so
be
well.
against Nia Jax, but in terms of CM Punk, he's my pick to win the Rumble in 2025.
That would
That's
be
not a
that'd be
little bit
awesome.
early spoilers. He's my pick for Rumble Earl already.
Early spoilers. That's insane.
Yes. But do
I
we have
mean,
anything else for the main event, or you want to go ahead and move into Uncle Howdy?
other than the main event was just a phenomenal match. I mean, I think we're moving on to Uncle Howdy.
Great
Um,
match for sure.
so I was wrong. He didn't come out, and I was kind of really disappointed.
Yeah,
It
it
kind of
was
hurt,
disappointing.
but I seen something is never turn your TV off because we've seen big returns like CM Punk, and there was like a few others I forget about. But the URL was Porte or Uverte. I don't know. It's PORTE underscore OUVERTE, which that is actually a church in France, but it also means open door, which I found
Yeah,
pretty interesting. But when we got to, so it was how they did it with us over here in America when they were in Europe. They had 2 different like hidden like texts. First one was a phone number, which we called, and the second one was not really a phone number because the phone number actually I figured out was audio message too for the people overseas, and theirs was you did this.
yeah.
I don't really know what you did this means, to be honest. I haven't. That kind of confuses me. I never. I don't know because I mean
Yeah, who
you even helped
knows?
me figure this out. Like we were trying to figure this out together.
Yeah, we both called the phone number that got posted after, or that we saw after scanning the our QR code, and yeah, I have no idea what to say about it. It was like a cult kind of call that was like
Yeah. So
it was
this
like
is
chanting certain words.
yeah. It was so audio message 2 for the people overseas. It was our phone number. It was, do you know the story of the shepherd and the lost sheep? The shepherd had 99 others to search for the one sheep that had gone missing. He rejoiced when he found it. But what happened when my precious sheep went missing? None of you cared. Their families didn't care. Their friends didn't care. You let the darkness take them, left them, shackled in hell, all alone. But I set them free. They are my family now, and we will do anything to protect our family. I can't wait for you to see what they've become. That gave me chills when I was writing it and rewatching it a few times.
Yeah,
That just gave me chills saying that. Um, I'm kind of interested to see if this is kind of hinting at Eric Rowan.
yeah. I'm interested to see what they mean by the shepherd. I don't know. It kind of just popped in my head when they talk about like the shepherd, like when it got like casted out to the shadows and like you didn't care. That kind of makes me think of the time that Wyatt got released from WWE before he got hired back again. And potentially that's
Interesting.
calling reference to that. And then saying that now that he came back to WWE, now he's recalling all of his sheep using the one sheep, Uncle Howdy, to recall the many, which is like Alexa Bliss, your Braun Strowman, your Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, and all of them.
Yeah. I was thinking more Eric Rowan. I didn't know that actually, but thinking Eric Rowan because Eric Rowan was the white sheep in the original Wyatt family. And then he left. And now he's back.
Yeah.
He came back on that Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But the audio message, the file name was 99 underscore, then there was a bunch of ones. And I've seen a theory like it was 2 masters and 5 members. I don't know how that would work. Would Bray be like the other master? Would they try to portray Bray in some way,
As
or
like a spiritual master or
yeah, like a
something like
spiritual
that.
master? Yeah,
I could
I don't
see
know.
that potentially being a direction that they go, and I think it would be a really cool idea to maybe not constantly mention Bray because obviously he's passed and all that, but
Yeah,
in a
and
way to
this needs to be its own thing as well.
yeah, it does need to be its own thing. It needs to stand on its own 2 feet. But I think it'd be a really cool way if in the beginning they say that they're doing this for the spirit of Bray because that's the shepherd ultimately. Like Bray was their shepherd, and that's what they're
Yeah,
doing this now for. And that
I
should be
like
like
that.
really it though. They shouldn't constantly be
Yeah,
calling reference to that.
yeah, I like that. Um, Goodness gracious, my fault. The other audio message. Speaking of the members, and you said Alexa Bliss. This is speculation. This is speculation that the voice is Alexa Bliss's. The audio message that we had over here in the States, and the first message for people overseas was, "You think you're so close to finding him, but you don't even know what you're looking for. He's not what you think. He just wants to help. That's all he's ever wanted. He opens up his arms and makes you feel like you matter, like you belong. He doesn't change you. He reminds you. He wants you to know why did you forget about them?" And there was like some giggling, and it goes, "He says he opened the door, and the time of secrets has come to an end." I thought it was really interesting because this file name is v-xxv.wav. V-XXV is 525 in Roman numerals,
Hmm.
but it's also on the 25th of May, Queen and King of the Ring. But what is also on the 25th of May, which I think this kind of solidifies who Uncle Howdy is, it's Bo Dallas's birthday.
Oh,
It's Bo Dallas's birthday.
100%. Yeah. I think that's exactly where this is leading is King and Queen of the Ring now.
So I think it's pretty interesting. But with
Hmm.
this voice being Alexa Bliss's, there
It
was
sounded exactly
people,
like Alexa Bliss, by the way.
there was people
It sounded
relaying this to the White
exactly
Rabbit.
like Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, there's like people were relating it to the White Rabbit when there was a White Rabbit voice just like this.
Hmm.
So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was
Um,
pretty neat.
Backlash was probably the place to do it, especially with the pop they would have gotten from only 12,000 people. That crowd
Right?
was more into it than the crowd in Philly, in my opinion.
Bro, that
Like
crowd
it
is
was
more
every
lively than like
entrance, every match. It was not stopped.
it was non-stop, bro. The entire time for everything. They were going just insane.
Absolutely bonkers, dude. It was awesome. I felt like we should have went to France. Like
Like I wish we could have gone to
we should
France
have been
for
in
it.
France.
Like God
Like just imagine
damn.
being in that crowd.
It's like they put
Oh
out a
my.
survey to find the most dedicated and passionate WWE fans in France and then stuff all of them into that arena for that show.
Oh my God, yeah. But I mean, we were all disappointed. Sorry, we were all disappointed to see Uncle Howdy not come at all.
Yeah, I was
He didn't
pretty
show up,
disappointed about it.
which I think will lead into King and Queen of the Ring, which it's actually gotten bigger. The Saturday shows have gotten bigger over the years, so I think this would be another way we could see him. But if not, they have to do it like Clash at the Castle or Money in the Bank or something. It needs to happen soon.
Yeah, they can't keep drawing this out like it. Man, I'm gonna eventually get tired of watching out for QR codes for the entire show.
Yeah, and like it'll be honest, like I've enjoyed this, but it's gonna be a little rough. I mean, I would still definitely put my research into these because I still find them very interesting. But I feel like a lot of the fans would be just bored with it and not want to do anything with it anymore because it's taking too long.
Yeah, they definitely run that risk by running this story for as long as they are, but I think in the end it'll pay out because this is gonna eventually lead to like a new big faction from the looks of it, and I like
Yeah,
factions in wrestling, and they're always done really
I
well,
do as
especially by
well.
Triple H lately.
Yeah, Triple H has been doing a phenomenal job. Um, I mean, this was a pretty interesting PLE. It was a 5 match PLE. I mean, how did you feel about that?
5 matches. It was a shorter PLE, which I kind of liked, honestly. It made each
It
match
was
feel more
still three
important.
hours.
Yeah, they were
The
able to
matches
fill
were
their
longer. It
time
was
really
still three
well.
hours. It
Hmm.
was insane.
Yeah, and they didn't even have any like talking segments in the middle or like long
Not
like
really.
just like random stuff. Like no celebrity spotlight stuff really happened there or nothing. It was all just like match,
There's
match,
no
match, match,
celebs.
match, match. And then, but it flew by. The 3 hours did and all that.
Oh my god, it did. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I
it was a
mean,
really good show. I fucking loved it.
like I mentioned earlier during the press conference, and you said Triple H. Triple H actually was talking about doing Backlash like London or bringing WrestleMania overseas, which I would find really interesting. But I don't really know how we could see that.
WrestleMania overseas would be nuts, especially if they go to London itself. Like if they have WrestleMania in Wembley Stadium. Holy shit.
That crowd's gonna go absolutely
That'd be so crazy.
freaking nuts.
Holy
I'm
shit.
excited.
I would absolutely love
I'm
that.
excited.
Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah, I
too.
mean, next PLE is, I believe, like I said, King of the Queen in the Ring. Yeah, so once that comes around, we'll get that, and we'll see you on our next episode, which is the weekly um, weekly shows that we do. But before we go,
Monday night
Ryan, do you have
and
anything else
Friday
to add to
night.
this?
Nah, man. I don't have anything else to add. If you don't have anything else to add, I'll close her out.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another episode of the AR Wrestling Post PLE Review Show. We will catch y'all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.